Hello, and welcome back to my channel. One of the things that I'm always keen to do is to teach you guys how to incorporate vegetables and fruits into your diet in interesting, exciting ways. So what I want to show you today is basically mshikaki, chicken mshikaki or chicken skewers that are really delicious. They'll be a great snack for any time. If you're having a barbecue, they're a great thing to make outside, but today we're going to make them in the oven. So chicken skewers or chicken mshikaki. So basically we are creating a mshikaki on a stick. We're creating a mix of fruit, vegetables and chicken on a stick. So I got these skewers from the supermarket. I think honestly a pack of 100 was like 70 shillings. But the first thing I'm going to do, in fact, first let me just show you what is happening and what's going into mine, right? So these are chicken breasts, just chicken breasts that I've cubed and cut into pieces, bite-sized pieces. Some pineapple, some yellow and red hoho, onions, and cherry tomatoes that I have halved. This is my spice mix, which is basically salt, pepper, a little rosemary, a little garlic, salt. Yeah, nothing too serious. Any spice mix can do. And some lemon and honey if you want to add that kind of flavor. So the great thing about this is that the meat is the main thing. Anything else that you want to add is completely up to you. The first thing, and this is now a pro tip, I always like to give you guys tips. So take your skewers and dip them or soak them in water. Yeah, that way they don't burn too much in the oven because they'll start to dry out, and they're just made of wood. They're just pieces of wood. They're going to dry out. So I always soak them in water. That's what I'm going to do. You can alternatively oil them. I've seen some people do that, but I find like dipping them in water really helps. So I'm going to do that first. So I have soaked my skewers in water. I don't know if you can tell that they're quite wet. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but they're quite wet. So now we just move on to seasoning my chicken, because remember, chicken is the main thing. So here is my herb mix. Just going to sprinkle that all over the chicken and rub it in. Now, please remember, you need to be very careful when you're handling chicken. You need to make sure you wash your hands thoroughly when you're done because raw chicken is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So I'm going to season everything, and also be very generous with how you're seasoning this and making sure you want it to taste exactly like you want. You're making a snack here, and everything else is fruit and vegetables that doesn't actually need to be seasoned. So basically, this is all I'm going to do. I might also salt my hoho because I really like salted caramelized hoho, but that's just my flavor and what I like. So that is actually pretty much it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put together the assembly line and show you sort of how that works. So I'm taking a skewer and putting onto, something to note, heat your oven up. So it's at about 190 degrees. You can put it on grill. If your oven has a grill option, you can do that. If it doesn't, the bake option is just fine. So all we're going to do here, remember these have been soaked, is now put in your meat and create your little assembly line, right? So poke right through. I'm going to add a pineapple. I'm going to add some hoho. I'm going to add chicken again. So chicken is going to be obviously the main thing here. And I think for this one, I'm going to stop right here. But look at that. How delicious does that look? Lots of chicken in between each of these vegetables. And we are basically good to go like this. Something that I had done, I had stored my pineapple, my hoho, all these vegetables, I'd stored them in the same container. So I cut them and stored them in the same container. So the pineapple juice has actually touched pretty much all of it. So there's a nice strong pineapple flavor that will be going through all of this. So I'm just going to make a few more, and then I'll show you now the next step, which is basically just throwing this in the oven. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 delicious looking. Look at these things individually. How beautiful is this thing? It's going to grill. The pieces are really small. Everything else is vegetable, so it's going to cook really quickly. You're looking at about 15-20 minutes depending on your oven and depending on just lots of other factors. I always do, I've told you this before, I just pick one piece and find out whether it's ready. To be honest, I like to eat as I cook. But basically this is it. There's one more thing I like to do before I serve, before I put these in the oven. So I always like to sprinkle a little lemon juice over top of all of them. And then the one thing that's really, really important, let me just let you know. I had actually put this in the oven, so let me just grab my glove before I burn myself here. So this is just parchment paper on top of the grill that I would have used, the metal grill that I'd have used in the oven, right? So I'm just going to place it right here, put them right on top. But I want to use some oil to make sure that the things don't stick. I know that this is wax paper. I know that it probably won't stick, but also these are really, really sensitive because the pieces are so small and parts can break apart so easily. Something else to note, because the pieces are so small, like I mentioned, please try to make sure the skewer goes through the dead center of everything, through the center of the pineapple, through the center of the chicken, so that it doesn't break apart, because it can break apart really easily. And I'm just going to put them over. There are only 5 of them, so that shouldn't be too difficult. The good thing is I've left space for them to be able to turn over. So when I'm switching them over, instead of having to lift them, I'm just going to turn them over to the side, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to put this in the oven and then we will be good to go. So I'm just going to throw these into the oven. Of course, if you've made more than these, you can just line them up like this. The oven has been heating 190 degrees. Like I mentioned, if you have a grill, you can put it on grill. It'll be really nice and charred. And you can cook these outside as well. If you could smell the kitchen. If only you could smell the kitchen. Sometimes I wish that the things that I make, I could like send the smell to you guys so that you can understand just how delicious this smells. So I've had a peek, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, so my mshikaki is ready. I'm so excited, as you can tell. Let me just take it out. In fact, I think I'll just take them out and plate them immediately. And here you go. Look at that char. This is why I suggest that you get an oven. I mean, if you have the opportunity to put the oven to grill, this is what happens. It chars and it's delicious. Of course, all of these vegetables, my mouth is really watering. Of course, all of these vegetables are going to get like really, really crisp and browned and delicious. I really love that char taste. It reminds me of a barbecue. So that's why I'm suggesting, it's so hot. That's why I'm suggesting that you do grill option. So this is it. There's the sweetness, of course, from the pineapple. This is too hot for me to eat right now. Also, please look at what has happened to my sticks. Even after soaking them in water, they have browned, but this is still less brown than they would have been if I didn't put any water on them at all. Anyway, so this is it. A delicious snack, really quick, really easy to make. You just have to assemble, get the skewers from any supermarket and assemble this. Just how good does this look? Let's just just analyze. Just look at how beautiful this thing is. I don't even know. Anyway, this is it. A nice, delicious snack. Please make this anytime, very soon. Invite me when you do. I will be happy to come by. But that is it. That is it. Delicious, wonderful mshikaki. You are what you eat, so please eat well and join me in the future so that I can continue to show you how to have your cake and eat stuff like this.